Mone is a beautiful story that reminds us that letting go of hate and forgiveness are a key part to living in happiness and peacefully. As a Buddhist, I am very happy to review this movie right now. Don't you want to be happy? Longyiman. For this review, we will go over the cinematography, the characters, the meaning of the movie, and some of my thoughts here and there about the things that I loved about this movie, which is plenty. Let's start with the cinematography. I have to say that this is a beautiful, beautiful movie. Why is this movie so beautiful? Because of the constant contrast between the current time where the two twin brothers are born and they grow up, compared to the old time where the past lives of the current twins happen. Through the scenery, we get to see not only different locations, but how perhaps in some areas of Myanmar, things have changed, but at the same time, they have also stayed the same. Which I think it's an important theme in the movie, because the main, you could say, theme or crucial point in the movie is that there are certain characteristics about us as people, about humanity, that will never change. So the scenery represents that a little bit by having certain locations be somehow similar both in the past and in the present. Hatred and letting go of hate. That's the main point of the movie, is the main theme of the movie. And when you really look at it, all the characters are there to really give you a story that transcends time, because human nature will essentially stay the same for the most part for many, many years to come, many centuries to come. And the story tells us in a very tragic yet human way that whatever happened in the past, whatever things we do in prior lives or in the current life, whichever the case is, if we hold on to the harsh feelings of unfairness that comes from anything or anyone, those feelings are going to consume us. They're gonna burn inside of us. And the people that did those bad things to us, well, maybe they regret it, maybe they don't. But what's more important is that if we don't let go of that hatred, whether that other person seeks forgiveness or even if they ignore us, for our own lives, for our own peace, and for our own happiness, we have to let go. And that is a very important and very good message that this movie sends. And that is why I completely love this movie. It's a very good message. Letting go of hate, forgiveness, and moving on with life in a peaceful and joyful manner. Now, as to the characters, we will start with the brothers To and To. They are the creators of the problem. They are the originators of the hate. And we like them and dislike them at the same time. As I was in the movie theater, I saw that the audience enjoyed a lot of the scenes, especially with the character of To, which is played by Nato, because of his whole rebelness and his desire to just do every single thing that he wants. So I think that a lot of the audience was enjoying To quite a bit. I enjoyed it as well, but at the same time, we have to keep in perspective that he is the creator of most of the problems. They create all of these problems partially because they are seen as cruel characters, but also partially because they want to free themselves of the society that they are in. They are a little bit of, careless lawbreakers. They are essentially like Burmese Wild West shooters, right? I mean, that's what I will compare them with, right? They're going out there and they want to marry that girl, and they force the girl to marry. Like, he puts the gun on the table and basically is saying, look, you're gonna marry my brother, otherwise I'm gonna blow your brains out. We also know that Toso is in a relationship. We care about him because, he has a wife, and we like the scenes where his wife is taking care of him, and it definitely affects us as the audience when we see the wife getting killed, when they're shooting at him, trying to get on the boat to escape the oppressors that capture him and his brother, which they end up dying in a very displeasing way, right? I mean, they just throw the dirt on top of them and just kill them like that, right? So we feel bad for them because we sympathize with that juvenile recklessness, do everything you want, but yet at the same time, we always keep the perspective that they are the creators of the problems, they are the creators of the hate. Now let's go to Po'ong and Mateon. Po'ong is the father of the two twins, and he is essentially there in the movie to remind us and to show us that if you hold on to hatred, if you hold on to your ways that are affecting your health, reducing your life, and basically consuming you inside your soul, you're going to have a bad life. And not only are you going to have a bad life, but you're also going to continue in the cycle of suffering because you hold on to that hate. Now, at the same time, we feel a little bit bad for him because this hatred, this suffering was imposed on him through the prior lives of the rebel brothers. But again, we also know that it is mostly his fault that he does not let go of hate, and especially in one of the latter scenes where we see him and the two twin monks, and one of the twin monks offers him to take revenge and to smack the bottle on his head, right? Boom. Yet he wanted to do it even at the last moment of his life. He didn't do it just because he could not do it, not because he didn't want to do it. And so he died with that hatred still in his soul. As to Mateon, we see a much more positive change throughout the movie. She starts in a similar path as Po'ong, but later on, as the movie transgresses, she's slowly, she's still stubborn for a long time in the movie, but she eventually gives in to the kindness and the persistence of one of the twin brothers, right? Which both are played by Naito. And that is what really moves on the plot beyond the original conflict. And of course, that brings us to the most key characters in the movie from the beginning to the end, and that is the twin monks, played by Naito, both of them. I thought that the acting by Naito was, again, completely spot on. I loved it. And the twins are the changing point in the film. At the beginning, they carry that hatred, yet at the same time, they are able to slowly transcend into that forgiveness, into that letting go, of any hate. Now, they are not the ones that are bearing the hate. The one bearing the hate are the parents. But one of the twin brothers is not so easily forgiving of the lack of attention and care that the parents never gave to them, because they were already from their very birth wanting to kill them. So it's very shocking and traumatizing for some small children to see that their parents want to kill them from the very birth, right? I mean, it's extreme when you think about it. I would also love to talk about my favorite scene. My favorite scene is where the twin monk that seeks the redemption continues to go to the house of Mation. I think that scene was, for me personally, the most beautiful moment in the movie. Why? Because it shows the persistence, the good faith that the twin monk had towards resolving this legacy of hatred that has been building up through different generations. I think it was the most important scene in the movie, and we see through the character of Mation how gradually she starts to change her ways, to accept more the fact that this person that she's seen in front of them, the twins, those are her children. Whether she stays with the hatred or whether she lets go of the hatred. And she also gets to understand that the hatred is not only something external that she can literally throw at the twins, but it's also something internal in her life that she has to let go for her own good, for her own peace of mind, for her own happiness. And that last scene again is so key to the whole story, is what wraps up, is what resolves everything. And I love to see how the twin was just there waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for her to come out of the house and give the offerings of rice. It was very touching and very moving, and that's why I think that scene is my favorite scene. So that's all. I will totally recommend this movie. Again, I will give it a 9 out of 10. It's beautiful, it's magnificent, has a very important message, and again, I just hope that we continue to see more and more movies at this level of quality and picture, and also with good, deep, meaningful messages, just like this movie. Jesus de Mare. Flying away. Oh my God, what I say? Not flying away. Are trying to free to Potion and Mation. Oh my God. Potion